Hi everyone, welcome back to This Book Belongs to Pam. Today we are going to be starting our first 24-hour readathon. So right now it's actually 4:43 in the afternoon and I'm about to start my first reading sprints. This is my setup for the reading sprint. I'm doing the reading sprints because I want to celebrate 100 subscribers on here on BookTube. So thank you everyone for subscribing. So basically my goal is to just finish reading Perfect on Paper, and then I'm gonna start reading, I think, Bunny, because that's also for my magical readathon. And then if I have a little bit more time, I might start reading An Unkindness of Ravens, because I think that's next on my Libby. I'm going to start this readathon today, February 21st, 5 p.m. and end it tomorrow at 5 p.m. as well. And hopefully I finish at least 2 books. That's my goal, finishing 2 books, and I will try my best to update you guys throughout everything. But for now, I'm gonna get ready for the reading sprints live that I'm doing. I'm a little bit nervous because this is the first time I'm live streaming to YouTube. I'll see you later. Hi everyone, so I actually just finished the first sprint for the reading sprints live. We have people here, and people there, and of course we also planted one tree, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the live now.
I don't know where you go when you fall away, and we kiss but it always means goodbye.
Just finished the reading sprints. It was actually a lot of fun. It's now 8 p.m. so I did it for about 3 hours, which I was surprised by. I was initially only thinking of doing it for about an hour because I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be joining me, but it was fun. For the first hour I had about 2 people, and it was quite fun being able to interact with them, ask them what they're reading. And I'm really glad that I used the Forest app as a timer, because now I have this little cool visual that shows me all of the trees that we planted during the reading sprint. It's actually quite fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think I'm gonna do more of this, maybe at least once a month, just to talk to everyone, just to catch up. And reading wise, because you know this is a readathon, I think I did well. I started on page 30 something. I'm now on page 133 and I'm liking it so far. The whole romance thing is starting. They're starting to like each other's company, so I'm really enjoying that. There was a lot of cute moments in here that I was smiling a lot, sort of laughing a lot during the live, but I was on mute because of course I didn't want to disturb everyone while they were reading. But you will see on the video, on the replay, actually I'm gonna insert it in here, where I was laughing a lot and like smiling and giggling because there were just like fun moments. That's what I like about romance books. It doesn't have to be like adult romance, just romance book in general. They give you the feeling. So I'm gonna take a break from now from reading, since I've read for about 2.1 hours. And I'm just gonna work on some stuff. Maybe prepare food, feed my dogs. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that, take a break, and then I'll see you again later once I start reading again. It's now 11:25 p.m. I fell asleep after the reading sprints live stream. I fell asleep for about 2.5 hours on and off because my introvert self could not handle live stream extroversion. I just fell asleep. So I'm still at page 133 on Perfect on Paper. You can't even see. What am I doing? Whatever. Yeah. We're gonna order pizza for dinner, and then I'm gonna read some more. quick update. I'm almost done with Perfect on Paper. I am 68% in. I'm definitely gonna be finishing this tonight. Gonna do this in the dark in this very weird lighting. Anyway, finished the book, finished Perfect on Paper. It's now, what time is it? It's now 4:28 a.m. So I'm almost at the 12-hour mark. And I finished one book. It's fine. It's not a race or anything. But yeah, I finished Perfect on Paper and I like it. It's a very endearing novel. I don't have like a star rating for it because I use kind of like a computation. But my gut rating, which is the rating that I click as soon as I finish the book, was 4 stars. I'm going to read probably a physical book in a bit. It's 4:28 a.m. but my sleep schedule is so fucked up these days. We'll see if this actually helps me to fix my sleep schedule as well. I'm gonna try and stay up as late as I possibly can up until 5 p.m. which is when I started this readathon. So yeah, hopefully I can finish one more book, but I'm not quite sure. I think I'm gonna pick up this book now. This is China Silang at ang Laban ng Manananggal Mambabarang. So it's the second book in the China Silang series. I think there are 5 books. I only have 4 right now. I read the first one last year and I really enjoyed it, and then this is the second part. I like where the first one left off. It was super creepy but also very interesting. It made me really want to read the second one. So now I think I'm gonna pick up the second book. It's my goal to read more books that are Filipino authored and also written in Tagalog, because truthfully, I'm not that good at Tagalog, but it's also nice to be able to read physically. I love my Kindle so much. It has allowed me to read so many more books because I can borrow from the library, but reading physical books is still my favorite thing. I can also listen to an audiobook that I've been listening to. This one is actually a collection of essays by Gia Tolentino, which is also a Filipino-Canadian author, so that's a good thing. 2 Filipino authors this month. I'm currently at the 7th. I'm at the 7th essay. I'm gonna start the 7th essay. So yeah, I'm gonna start this, maybe take a break, make some coffee, get change. Chucky? No. I love horrible. Anyway, so I haven't read a physical book in such a long time that I forgot all about bookmarks. Like, I was using the most random things to mark my page. Like, I was using the lens cap, I was using my phone, and I remembered I have bookmarks. So I have this one. This is from the Studio Ghibli, what was it? Studio Ghibli Museum? When I went to Japan, well, 4 years ago, no, 3 years ago. Yes, I got this from the gift shop. It's a scene from, I think it's actually from Spirited Away. I just started, so yeah. I need to read some more before we leave later at around 2 p.m. for my dog's vet appointment. So I need to get some reading done so that I can finish this book within today. Hi! It is now the next day, approximately like 19 hours since the readathon ended, and I completely forgot to close the readathon. So last night, or yesterday, I think my last clip was at around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. I was reading this, Diyan na silang at ang labanang manananggal mambabarang. And I forgot that we had to take our 3 dogs, to the vet. And taking 3 dogs to the vet is always like a big affair because, especially because my dogs are puppies. Like my 2 dogs are puppies, so they're still a little bit car sick. So it was a whole like catastrophe of cleaning the car afterwards because one of them peed, one of them drooled so much. So it was just a disaster towards the end. So I just completely forgot to film anything after I got back home from the vet. So I thought I would just update you now, just to close off the first 24-hour readathon vlog. So one of the books I read for this readathon was Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. This is actually the book that I read during the reading sprints that I did for 100 subscribers celebration. I really loved this book. It really tugged at my heartstrings, and it's very straightforward, but at the same time it's very enjoyable. Everything that happened feels kind of natural, nothing feels too forced. I actually teared up a little bit when I was reading this book. I think I got it on camera. Yeah, I think I got it on the vlog. I teared up a little bit because the main character, Darcy, was talking a lot about, you know, feeling alone and feeling like what they're doing or who they are isn't worthwhile. The way that it was written was very relatable. And yeah, there was one quote there that says, everyone wanted to feel like they were worthwhile at the end of the day. And I was like, Another thing that I liked about this book was that its discussions on internalized biphobia and bi erasure is very approachable. It didn't feel overwhelming. So I'm very thankful for the people who recommended this book to me when I was asking for books with bisexual main characters, because my heart. I definitely recommend this if you want something lighthearted but still very much substantial. I kind of wanted more by the end of it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that read, and I'm glad that I read it during this readathon. So the next book that I read is Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino. I'm actually listening to this via the audiobook on Libby. So I actually picked up this book February 1st, but this book is a collection of essays by Gia Tolentino. And what I did was that after I read one essay, I switched to the audiobook, and then after another essay, I switched to a different book, and then went back in between books that I've been reading. So, but for this readathon, I decided to finish this one. And this one is very dense. There's a lot in here. There's a lot of topics that are discussed. A lot about, you know, figuring out yourself, your identity, I guess the things that you tell yourself, and how the internet has impacted our lives and what we think of ourselves. So it's very much a reflective book. I think my favorite essays would be, let me just check the titles of the essays. My favorite one is the first, which is The I and the Internet. It basically just explores how the internet has muddled our perception of ourselves and our worth. And then another thing that I really liked is The Story of a Generation in 7 Scams. Gia Tolentino is in the same age group as I am, so it felt very relevant to me because those are all of the things that I also witnessed as I was growing up. And I also like We Come From Old Virginia. It talked a lot about misogyny, sexism, and all of the dismissal and gaslighting of women, especially in a university setting. So that was Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino. And finally, the book that I also picked up during the readathon was Diyan na silang at ang labanang manananggal mambabarang. Basically, it's the second book in this series, YA fantasy series. It talks a lot about Filipino folklore, and that was very interesting for me because I'm not knowledgeable and familiar about Filipino folklore, so that was a good book to just, you know, absorb all of that knowledge. And for this one, we're just, you know, directly following the events of the first book. The thing with this one, I didn't finish it. As you can see, I'm this much in, in the book, maybe about like 1/5 of the way in. The thing that's very difficult for me while reading this book is that one, it's written purely in Tagalog, which is my native language, but I'm not fluent in it, unfortunately. Everyday conversations are done in a mix of English and Tagalog, so I find it hard when everything is just in pure Tagalog. Unfortunately, in the Philippines, the medium of instruction is also in English, so we're used to studying in English. We're used to thinking critically in English, so that's kind of a sad truth of being a colonized country. So yeah, I'm having a hard time because I have to like stop and really reread sentences just to make sure that I understood it well, because this one also uses, it's not like deep words or difficult words, but just words that aren't really used in everyday life because we use the English counterpart of it. It does make the reading slower. So I only read 50 pages during the readathon. And one thing that I also don't like is, look at this. Look at this, like, spacing. There's not a lot of spacing in between paragraphs, and then the spacing in between the sentences, like each line of sentence, is also not that good. I would have much preferred a thicker book with a little bit more spacing because it's quite hard to read. I get cross-eyed sometimes while I'm reading, so I kind of have to use my bookmark to like do this when I'm reading. Yeah, I don't love the typeface that they use for this one. And my graphic designer heart is just, no, not good. So yeah, I'm planning on finishing this within February. So if you want to know my thoughts about this, then you should watch my February wrap-up. It's not gonna be up by the time this video is up. So yeah, that's gonna be maybe first week of March. So yeah, Diyan silang at ang labanang manananggal mambabarang. So that is it. That is my first ever 24-hour readathon. It was quite hard because I'm not used to just reading straight the entire day. I kind of read like a little bit at a time, do other things, and then read again. That's how I read. That's why I only read like 6-7 books a month. But it was quite a fun challenge. I also enjoyed the reading sprints that I did at the beginning of the readathon. I was very nervous going into it, but I had a lot of fun, even though we're only like 5-7 people max. Knowing that you're reading with someone else and then you get to chat a little bit in between, 25-minute breaks. That was a lot of fun. I also used the Forest app as a timer, so I get this forest visual at the end of the reading sprints to see all of the plants that we have planted, aka how many sprints we did and whatnot. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I plan to do more reading sprints, maybe do like a monthly one, maybe, just for fun. And I think that made the entire readathon a lot more enjoyable for me. I just think blocking off a day to just read can be quite fun. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you also got a lot of reading done alongside me. So I'll see you in the next one.